There are lots of dilemmas that you need to solve. And the biggest threat for the dunes now are coming from people and coming from climate changes. I'm Lina Dikšaitė. I'm working in Curonian Spit National Park Administration as Deputy Director. We feel sometimes like an island, but really the Curonian Spit is very unique in the form. It's almost 100 kilometers and it's very narrow. The widest place is almost 4 kilometers, the most narrow is just 400 meters. And it's divided between two countries, Lithuania and Russia. It's very unique for people who are interested in bird migration, because each year there are millions of birds that are passing the Curonian Spit. And as I remember correctly, the last year number is more than 3,000 nests of cormorants. From the historical sources we know that there was cormorants colonies, but fishermen, they destroyed the nest and they killed birds. And this colony now started to grow maybe 20 years ago. We have the biggest colony in Lithuania. For people who are interested in habitats, in species, they can come here and find the species that are typical for sandy habitats. Because we have grey dunes, it's Natura 2000 habitat and it's priority habitat, so it's very rare to find it in good shape, and we have hundreds of hectares such grey dunes habitat. Very quickly you can lose it if you let forest to come. But now we have more than 70% of territory that is covered by forest.
Jiems iš mažens tenka kovoti su smėliu. Jų proseneliai prie Nidos pasodino šiuos miškus. Kad šiandien Neringa turi nemažus miškų plotus, saugančių žvejų gyvenvietės, už tai reikia dėkoti žmogui, kuris pasodino smėlyje pirmąją žolę.
So the Curonian Spit was planted very intensively, and this forest started to grow, expand, and occupy the dunes. What we are doing as a National Park Administration, we are taking roots out of small trees, of pine trees in this grey dunes area. So it's a huge work, and it's one of the biggest tasks for the National Park.
So right now we are in nature reserve Užava, which is located near the open coast of the Baltic Sea in Latvia, and this habitat is very important for threatened EU species like the Dianthus arenaria, Linaria leseli, and very interesting endemic species for Baltic Sea region, which is Tragopogon heterospermum, which is protected in many countries around the Baltic Sea. And this area is very important because in former USSR period it was closed area for visitors at all. Special permissions need to visit this area, even for scientists. And when our scientists came in this area, they were so surprised about all this high biodiversity that we have there. Due to these army activities, huge amount of grey dunes are survived. Our challenge in this area is anthropogenic impact. Sand habitats are very sensitive for people's steps. Also a lot of garbage they left, plastic garbage from the sea.
We have more than 1 million visitors per year. In some places, people are allowed to walk on the dunes, and we can see that really people are doing rather big harm. And one problem that arose maybe 10 years ago is climate changes that we feel more and more. For a few last years we don't have snow, and cold winters, it's one of the main things that can help us to keep the dunes from traveling to the lagoon side. It's very important to protect them, not only because it's site of interest as people coming to the Curonians, but it's also very important as you look from the point of nature protection.
On Naisar Island, off the coast of Estonia, munitions factories, prisons and watchtowers leave behind memories of the island's history. During the Soviet occupation, Naisar became a factory for naval mines. Narrow gauge railways still cross the land, once used to transport the mines from the factory to the port. Nature has reclaimed the island. What was once a top secret base for the Soviet army is now a nature reserve.